So continuing, we are still on section 2. What is success? So now we've hopefully very thoroughly looked at what self-sabotage is. And again, I find it very important to really have a thorough understanding of what some of these things are if we're really going to have any chance of kind of figuring out why we're doing things. So it might have been a lot of, we might have taken a lot of time there on self-sabotage, but I find it very important. So next, we're going to do the same thing with success. We're going to take some time here and really go, what is success? Again, it's my experience that any word that is not thoroughly understood has become a dead word. Okay, so think of books. Find your way to success. Success in this, success in that. Well, what does that mean? And whose definition of success am I actually buying into? So, what is success? In your opinion, who are the 3 most successful people you know or know of, living or dead? Sorry, I'm going to ask that question again. In your opinion, who are the 3 most successful people you know or know of, living or dead? So there would be a spot there, you could write that down. Who are the 3 most successful people I can just, off the top of my head, boom, write that down. Can you also list one quality that each of them possesses or possessed, which in your view made them successful? So, I'm going to use a few here. I use Donald Trump in a lot of these examples because typically when we think of success, what do we think of? Money, right? Owning this, owning that. So we could say, Donald Trump, sure, put him down. What would be a quality for him? Let's say it is being relentless. That guy never stops. He's just goes and goes and goes. In the class, we talked about someone gave the name Oprah. So let's use Oprah. Very successful, right? And the quality that was given to her was perseverance. Just keeps going and keeps going. Pretty close to being relentless. And third, I'm going to throw in, I'm going to say Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. And what quality gives him success is he is very consistent. He's just consistent. He always does what he needs to do, we'll say. So, now that we've kind of put that into place, let's just kind of keep that to the side, and let's go to the next question. What does the word success mean to you? How would you define it? Again, I find this to be such a key part of digging into these roots of self-sabotage. You got to know what success means to you, in my opinion. If you don't, well, we'll talk about it in a little bit. So, if you know the answer to that, feel free to write it down if you like. Is there a clear way to know if we are successful? What qualities or personality traits might you ascribe to success? So, we got our definition of success, if you know what that is. Okay, what kind of qualities or personality traits would you attribute to success? Now, if these last 2 questions, if you're unsure, could we use the ones listed above from our 3 successful people? So I'm wondering, those 3 qualities that we listed, could we just use those? And again, I threw out some names that probably do not reflect, or maybe they do, reflect successful people to you, and I just threw out some qualities that might not reflect that. But let's just go through this exercise so we can see how it kind of works. So number 1, we said relentless. 2, we said perseverance. And 3, we said consistency. So all kind of the really close words. But if I don't have a definition of success, could I have just almost given myself a definition of success? Definition of success could be being relentless, persevering, and being consistent. Again, that might not personally work for you, but you understand the exercise now. If you don't know your own definition, or after taking some time and trying to figure it out, maybe just guess and go, okay, who would be successful? It doesn't have to be, figures that we know. It could be your grandfather. Hey, this guy was a successful guy, and here was his quality. It could be some person from the past who's no longer alive that you've studied their work and go, yeah, this person was successful, in my opinion. And obviously, it doesn't have to be someone that's made a lot of money or made a lot of fame for themselves. It's whatever works for you. So what is the purpose of understanding and defining success for ourselves? Let's read this next paragraph. Could it be true that once we define the aspects of success in a personal way, it no longer is an ambiguous term that we confusingly chase after? Could it also be true that once we develop a personal definition, we are no longer obligated to living towards or for others' view of success? A definition of success is an important North Star in our journey. We will need to recall it and may even need to redefine it at times. No definition is final, and all definitions are subjective. So, what definition of success are you living towards? Are you living towards a definition of success that you have created with qualities and personality traits that you have ascribed to success? Or are you living towards a definition of success given to you by your parents, by society, by culture, or by religion? I find that a very, very important question to ask. And I find it important that if we don't come to a conclusion on that, or at least an understanding of that, I should say, before we continue, the next steps we take in self-sabotage, we might be on somebody else's path and not our own towards success. And you can work your rear end off and do all these things, and years later go, I never wanted all that. But I was told that this is successful. And I think we're seeing that in society right now, where there's a lot of kids that are coming out of college, and they're very frustrated, even resentful that, hey, you told me, society, mom and dad, that if I went to college and got a 4-year degree, that I would get a job, my life would be stable, all this stuff would happen, and none of it's happening. I'm wondering if they were doing that, living that definition of success, if that was their definition, or they were just kind of playing along with the game of what others have told them. So definition is never final. Whatever you define success as today, it could very well change in the future. Almost needs to, as you change, right? But I think it's important to say that, because if we think that the definition of success that we have today, I'm 37 today, so in 40 years when I'm 77, I hope I have a different definition, and I've grown and evolved a bit differently. Although if it's the same, it's the same. But just keep in mind, it's not, okay, tattoo my definition of success right here. The rest of my life, this is what I have to go after because this is what I said today in this class, and I'm stuck. No, we're not chiseling the stuff in stone. So, how might we from here on out find out whether we are on the path to our own version of success? How might success be measured? So, let's say we've got a good grip on personally what success, how it's defined for us, and some of those different qualities. How are we going to measure it? Well, this too must be personal. And how would you feel if you were instantly successful? Okay, so think about this. If you became instantly successful, whatever that means to you, you woke up and all these things changed or happened, how would you feel inside? Okay, could we use that feeling that you're thinking of or you've written down as the barometer to success, barometer of success for future awareness? What if we are not sure how we might feel, or if we are unsure of what quality or qualities to use? So, if you ask that question, I don't know how I would feel. I don't know. Let's ask this question. How have others measured their success? So Yogananda, in his book, The Law of Success, he says, success should therefore be measured by the yardstick of happiness. It was his experience that the path to his own success was surrounded by happiness. His happiness served as a compass along the way. So, could happiness be a sign that we are on our own right track to success? And that's just a projection that I'm throwing in there. It might not be happiness, but again, let's apply that concept. If you were instantly successful, how would you feel? Could we use that feeling as a compass to heading towards our North Star? So the North Star is our definition of success. Okay? We understand kind of what that theme is. And now, how am I getting there? How do I know if I'm on the right path? Well, this feeling that's going on, Yogananda, for him, he's saying it's happiness. Okay? So, is happiness, is that a decent one? Does that work for you? For me, a better word would be peacefulness. For me, happiness is too ambiguous and too vague. Okay, happiness, well, I don't really know what that means. I have a better grip on the term peacefulness. I just like that term better. So if we were just to take that term for the class, again, make it your own, please, by all means. If we proceed with this as our guide, how would you answer the following questions? And I find these questions to be very interesting. Which areas or aspects of your life are you at peace with? Again, if, for sake of argument, we're using peace as this compass that I'm on the appropriate path, what am I at peace with right now in my life? What aspects are you not at peace with right now? And there's spaces provided to write that down if you would like. In what ways or areas have you been successful in life? We all succeed in something or some things in life. But the next question, in what ways or areas have you not? And a really interesting question to all those is, why do you think that is? Again, let me offer this to you. The questions themselves are not complicated, but they may be a bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. So, psychologists who study willpower have found that the two personal qualities which tend to consistently predict success in life are 1, intelligence, and 2, self-control. Those words are very ambiguous and a bit confusing, but let's kind of go with it a little bit. So they say, okay, 2 qualities that determine success are being intelligent and having self-control. Well, I say, yeah, no duh, when it comes to self-control, yeah, being able to control self, yeah, you're going to kind of get what you say you want. The intelligence part, I don't know about that. But just because they've done whatever research study or whatever, or written a book on it, doesn't mean we have to agree with it, and doesn't mean we have to use that. But what if we could do this? We're taking that kind of concept and go, okay, what if we change those 2 words to this? What if we change it to awareness and balance? So I'm just trying to be aware of what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to have some balance in my life. I'm trying not to be all this or all that. I'm just trying to find the middle ground. Could that be a better term to use to kind of give us a better feel of what willpower and self-control is all about? Could it be true that when we increase our awareness of what we do and apply balance to our thoughts and behavior, we may experience success, no matter what we decide to define success as? So, could it be true that if we use this theme of being aware and finding some balance, no matter what the definition of success is, this can be also, too, a good kind of key or barometer to kind of where success is. Could this be true? A lack of self-control is the cause of a lack of self-awareness. Can we ever become more in control if we never become more aware? I find that really interesting. Can we ever become more in control if we never become more aware? So, I'm going to offer you my own personal kind of definition of success. Today, if you're asking me today, because if you ask me tomorrow, it might change. My definition of success would include these 3 words: awareness, responsibility, and peace. So, it's my experience that I am successful whenever, number 1, I am aware of the choices I make. Number 2, I take responsibility for the choices I make. And number 3, I am at peace with the choices I have made because I understand there was a purpose for them in my life. So, the first one, just being aware of the choices I make. Having some sort of awareness that, yes, I am deciding to. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a decision that inherently is what would be called a good decision or a bad decision. It's just I'm aware of my decision, and I'll talk a bit more about that. Number 2, I'm just taking responsibility that whatever I chose to do, I chose to do it. Nobody else made me choose this. Nobody else influenced me to do this, although I might like to project that and go, oh, you made me do that. No, I take responsibility for that choice. And number 3, I'm at peace with that choice. I might not know why I made that choice or what the purpose was, or I may, but I understand that there is some lesson to be pulled out of those choices. So for me, this definition of success gives me a daily feel of success. Success is not, I got a raise. Oh, I was successful one time this year. Oh, I bought a home. Oh, I was successful one time in my life. Oh, I got married. Oh, I was, again, successful one time or maybe 2 times or maybe 3 times in my life. Right? It's success can happen every day. Every moment, perhaps. So what if this is true? Even if I say I'm on a diet, but I go and grab a handful of cookies, could I still be successful if I am aware of why I'm grabbing cookies, or aware that I'm grabbing the cookies and I'm making a decision? I take responsibility for that decision. So whatever are the weight I put on because of those cookies, I take responsibility for it. I'm not going to, oh, you know, this happened to me, so I had to grab the cookies. No, I'm just deciding to grab the cookies. And I'm at peace with whatever lesson's going to happen. And I'm at peace with the consequences of grabbing the handful of cookies. Now, all of a sudden, this might sound weird, but I can be successfully eating cookies on a diet. What if that's true? It's just another way to consider being successful. For me, it's no longer this once a year, twice a year thing. It's I can be successful right now if I'm aware, responsible, and at peace. So, that's my projection to offer to you. What may you be able to take away from either description of success? So, what can you take away from everything we've kind of talked about from success? Are there bits and pieces that go, yeah, I like that. That, no, doesn't really, doesn't jive with me. What can you do to now help formulate your own definition of success, different qualities or things that help indicate that you're on the right path? So, can we find our own success? I find this a very important question. Can we find our own success if we don't have our own definition of success? If you don't have your own definition of success, whose definition of success are you living by? So, are you living by, I'll ask the question again, the parents' view of success, your spouse's view of success, your friend's view of success, society's view of success, culture's view of success, or religion's view of success? If you enjoy their views of success and it works for you, great. Doesn't have to be different than all those. But the question is it yours? Are you being authentic to who you are and what you define success as? Because if not, you're living by somebody else's. And as we'll talk about later, that is loyalty. And loyalty, which is obligation, in my opinion, can do nothing else but breed regret and resentment. So, whether you're living to your own view of success or someone else's, here's a question. How is that working for you? Is it working? So, that's success. Now, let's talk briefly about the process from sabotage to success. It's a 4-part series, and not to get too ahead of ourselves, but again, in this first lesson, we're looking at just the first step, the first stage, the first realm, however you want to describe it, of the literal. What do you literally want? What do you literally define self-sabotage as? What do you literally define success as? So, the following are steps that I have personally gone through and continually go through to find success for my sabotaging behavior. I say continually because I believe that we are never free from the potential to sabotage ourselves. We only increase our awareness of it and learn to use the available tools to diminish, not to destroy, but to diminish its prevalence and effect. Now, there are some programs out there that I've seen that, eliminate self-sabotage. I don't know if that's possible. I think as long as you are in a body, as long as you are breathing, there's going to be some aspects, some potential to sabotage yourself. I think what we can do is increase our awareness of it and diminish its effects on our life. I think that's true. So I just find it as managing this inner saboteur as kind of like health or wealth. You can be really healthy right now because you've been eating really good food, but go on a 3-month drinking binge and cake eating binge, and all of a sudden, all that hard work you put into health, guess what happened? It's gone. You lost it. Same with wealth. You could be a millionaire, but go on a spending spree of spending millions a day, and guess what? You no longer have wealth. So I wonder if that's true with awareness. That awareness is not something, oh, I have it, I've attained it, oh, I'm this enlightened being now. I could just kind of walk the earth and not do anything else. I'm enlightened. Awareness is something that if we continue to work at and pay attention to, perhaps we can maintain being aware. If we just stop, go back to being in denial or disassociated or defended or kind of deflect, we might not be aware anymore. Anyways, this step really sets the foundation for all the other steps, 2 through 4. So these really are just kind of a collection of different authors, different speakers, and kind of my own kind of version of everything together. So that is success, and that is kind of where we're heading in the next couple videos.